Hello and welcome to yet another video of mine related to photography tips. In this particular video, I'm going to share with you how to get crisp, sharp images in low light situation without increasing the ISO. Hi, I'm Sudhir Shivaram, a wildlife photographer and a photography mentor who has helped thousands of students become better photographers, especially beginners in photography. As a part of this particular video, which has been shot at early morning 5:15 a.m. 5:15. So that is how low the light was. So this video shot in that kind of a low light situation where I'm going to teach you and show you what it takes to get amazing images. So let's get started. Alright, here are some very important tips for low light photography. So it's very early morning 5:15, spotted owlet here. And generally what happens very early morning or in extreme low light situation, autofocusing sometimes fails. This is tip number one. You have this focus switch over here. So it has currently 15 meters to infinity, 15 meters to 4.5 meters and then the full. So in these situations you have to check if the subject is like beyond 15 meters, then better to switch it over to 15 meters. That is where I'll just focus somewhere else. Okay, so it is within 15 meters in my case, so I'll go to full. But if the subject is beyond 15 meters, then the best thing is to use this. Because generally what happens in low light, your camera will start searching for focus right from the minimum focusing distance till infinity. And that initial part is what is going to take time for focusing. So when you keep it from 15 meters to infinity, so the camera will start searching for focus beyond 15 meters and your autofocusing is going to be very fast. The other tip now, just because the light is very low, doesn't mean that you have to increase your ISO. Now let's look at this here. Let's check my setting. So for ISO 3200, I'm getting 1/80. So generally the perception is like, oh, it's low light, so we need to increase. I'm getting a low shutter speed. No. So tip number 2 here is to always use a good support like a bean bag or even a tripod, a monopod. So stability, shooting technique is very, very important. So in this case, what I'm going to do now is, if you see, when it comes to shutter speed, some clicks, when it comes to shutter speed, you don't have to have a very high shutter speed. Watch what is happening in the frame. So in this case, the spotted owlet, fine. So little bit of behavior it is displaying. But most importantly, when it is sitting still like this, you don't need a very high shutter speed. Let me show you. I'm going to now decrease my ISO. Oops, decrease. Let's get it to say below 1000. I'm getting 1/20th of a second. Now comes the most important. Hold the hands in front of the lens for better stability. Okay. And then focus and wait for the subject to be totally still. Okay, so let's look. So exposure compensation, I'll keep it to 0. Let's come to 1/8 of a second. I'll do a little minus 1/13th. Now the eye focus has kicked in. Now let's wait for the bird to turn this side. So it's just waiting for the spotted owlet to turn towards me. Okay, there you go. Now it's 1 minute. Arey yaar. Okay.
वो नहीं निकल पाई, वो ये पहले से यहाँ बैठी थी।
Okay, so here now the spotted owlet is totally still. It's making some movements. So when it's making movement, don't click. If you do that, you will get shake. So it's moving now. This 1/13th of a second, you'll get shake. Now that movement, when it is totally still for a few seconds, like this. See that movement? No movement. Wait. It's moving. It's going in. The other one. So let's see the one what I shot. Did I get sharp image at 1/13th of a second? Let's see. So this is at 1/13th of a second. Look at this. It is quite sharp. So even at 1/13th of a second, I am able to get pretty crisp, sharp image. That is because you need to choose that particular moment when it is totally still. Okay, we have a woodpecker. Now it's gone behind. So even at 1 by 13th of a second, as you can see, I have got crisp, sharp image. Okay, so you have to wait for that particular moment when the subject is totally still and then press the shutter release button. Other thing is, do not just shoot in burst mode. Wait for the proper head turn, wait for the right movement, and just one click. And another important tip for low light photography or even general photography is to hold your breath at the time of shutter release. So there is a woodpecker also which has come in. Let's try. It's gone. So my spotted owlets have disappeared for now. Let me just play back the image. So let's see the other image where there was a movement happening. Look at this. So when the bird is moving, that time when you click at low shutter speed, you're going to get this kind of a blur. So that is the other important thing, is wait for it to stay still, and it will give you a chance for a couple of seconds where it's going to be totally static and still, and that is when you have to click. So this is shake all this. Okay, more shake because it was shaking its head, we saw that. Then yep, so for me, yes, look at these ones, 1, 2, even this one for that matter, this, yeah. So again, zoom in, look at this. So let's check what the parameters are for this, what kind of exposure. Look at this. So just ISO 800 in such low light situation, and 5.6 because I'm shooting with a 600 mm with a 1.4 converter, a 600 f4 with a 1.4 converter, and hence I'm getting f5.6, the lowest f number, 1 by 13th of a second in evaluative at -0.7. And yep, those are the key settings. What I have autofocusing, I'm always in the tracking, autofocus areas tracking. Spot test is what I always use for my photography in wildlife. And then again, getting back to the image, playback. Yep, so these are the key settings. Look at it, it's 840 mm. So at 840 mm, 1 by 13th of a second, you still have crisp, sharp images. So quickly to summarize, the focus switch is the first thing you have to keep in mind. And also another thing is, like, once you put it from say 15 meters to infinity after the shoot, make sure to put it back to full, because if any subject comes within 15 meters, you will not be able to get the focus. Okay, so that is the first one. Other very important thing is to use a stable support like a beanbag, a monopod, tripod, anything which gives you stability, support, you have to use that. And the third one for low light photography is about, as I said, shutter speed. Just because the light is low doesn't mean you have to increase your ISO to get a high shutter speed, but then what is happening in the subject, that is more important. Low shutter speed, wait for that moment when the subject is totally still, and then click. So these are the very important tips you need to keep in mind when it comes to low light photography. I hope this particular video helped you understand what it takes to make those sharp images in low light situation. Of course, obviously this is not applicable for extreme action photography, but a lot of times these are the kind of situations you come across where the subject is still stationary, not moving much, and the common mistake which photographers do is just go ahead and increase the ISO. Nope. Now, if you are a beginner in photography or even an advanced photographer, and if you want to basically improve your photography, then you are at the right place. To be an awesome photographer, you need an awesome mentor, and I could be the one for you. Even though I am a wildlife photographer, my knowledge is mainly related to the core fundamental concepts of photography, which is applicable to any genre of photography. So what I would recommend is for you to go check out my online photography courses, especially any of the bundle packages or the all courses with the exclusive add-on, because the exclusive add-on is going to like help you interact with me, get inputs from me, guidance from me, like get clarification on photography, any doubts you have, or for that matter, get your images reviewed from me. And then even if you want to build your portfolio of images, I'm there to help you. So there are a lot more other benefits by signing up for the exclusive add-on. So go right now, check out my courses and subscribe.